And so it ended. A tale that began with my own ill-fated attempt to rid the world of the God-Woken. A new divine rose, a true heir to the Seven, more powerful than ever, and united Rivellon in its battle against the Void. All across the realm, he was loved, worshipped, and adored. Humans, lizards, elves, and dwarves all rallied to his banner. The Great Allegiance stood once more, but the war continued. From the depths of the Void, the God King still sought to return. As for me, my last hope of ever being freed of the God King's terrible tyranny faded when the God-Woken claimed Divinity. An eternity of pain and suffering is mine. I cling now to the dream that one day the veil will be sealed, that one day I can be freed, that one day a new God-Woken will rise.
Malady stands tall and proud, sunlight sparkling off her mask. From here she looks almost angelic.
Well, here we are again. You, me, and the ship I've saved from ruin for your personal... Get an eyeful, Your Holiness.
She turns to you.
Look at you. Magnificent. Actually, except for one.
She fingers the mask covering her face.
We've come a long way together. I did my best by you all the way. I sacrificed much. Soon, I'd like to have a but relax, enjoy. I certainly plan to do. Oh, I don't know, around and about. Treat myself when the time comes, Your Holiness.
Well, well. Look, Divinity suits you. Though I know of one it might have suited you.
Closer wings and...
Well, if it isn't the new divine gracing... That is the question, isn't it? How does one top the greatest feat? No, of course you wouldn't. It's a written language. I intend to seek them out. This could start...
Tarquin's...
I didn't come all this way to show deference. Some friendly advice. All who rise are capable of falling.
I suppose it's time for me to explore a new form of eternity.
I've never been fond of what the Divine stands for, but I must say, it's rather exciting to say I've been up close and personal with one. Who knows? But a girl needs some fun, doesn't she? It gives me almost as much pleasure to speak to you as it does to be whole again. I will always be an ally to those that carry swords. I am at the ready. Consider me to be a gift from Malady. I feel better than you.
You look out to the endless beyond. The sun's light plays upon the waves, just as it always did. The sails flutter in the wind, just as they always will. And yet, something is different. You are different. And with a start, you realize where you must go next. You speak the command to the Lady Vengeance, and another chapter begins. War raged on. Arx remained the center of power as the races united behind the Divine. But the Void-Woken attacks continued as they did elsewhere. Arx would see many more long years of war. The ancient empire of lizards became one of the pillars of the new divine alliance. The houses of war and of shadows were particularly useful in the fight against the god king. The empire used the war to expand its territory. Justinia returned to her throne. Under her rule, the Dwarven kingdom fought for the divine, and her loyalty was unquestionable. Many fine and courageous dwarves did their people great honor in battle and in death. With Lucian gone, the elves reluctantly rejoined the Divine Alliance. Their place in the war on the Void would entirely depend on the integrity of the new Divine. And here and there, across the world, what was left of the Black Ring fought on. The island of Fort Joy remained a sorcerer's paradise, a place of exile for those whose sorcery threatened to bring in the Void. For their well-being, its residents depended entirely on the benevolence of the new Divine. Reaper's Coast struggled on. The farms and the fisheries fought to feed the people against the Voidwoken blight. The black pits took fire. The oil there burns still. Driftwood teetered on the edge of starvation until the night the Voidwoken came from the sea. All were killed. This did, however, put an end to the famine. The nameless isle had vanished. Although only open water remained, by instinct ships would steer clear. None of the captains could articulate why. Arcs battled on. Young Han grew up a warrior and became one of the Alliance's greatest generals. But even he could not win the war. Almira and Mihaili settled in an abandoned homestead. The locals liked and respected Almira. She never wanted for help, and deals always fell to her favor. Outsiders were often suspicious, but no local would speak against her. With a new divine at the helm, Malady had a powerful ally, but she was in no hurry to call in her favor. After all, it might be the last thing she ever did. Having performed the greatest act of necromancy in history, Tarquin found the new world unchallenging. He became obsessed with rumors of another plane of existence. One day he vanished and was never seen again. The undead priestess Gratiana remained in her sanctuary, happy to wait for the war to pass. She was troubled only by the silence of her goddess. Jehan the demon hunter never stopped hunting for demons. Sahala sought to strengthen the Elven alliance with the new divine. Her powers of sight proved useful in the ongoing war against the Void, but she could never be sure that the new divine trusted her. Tova, her mother, was Sahala's most trusted warrior. And then there was you. For how much of this do you take credit or blame? And what kind of divine were you as the world battled on? Did you show mercy or strength? Did you sacrifice others as Lucian had done? Did you regret becoming divine? Should you have given your soul and sealed the veil? Only you know the truth. You and one other. For the God King still calls your name. Do you answer? Only you know if you atone for your sins.
They can keep calling us vermin, but we'll just keep putting them down.
Oh, God, Logan, I was so looking forward to you making some monumentally stupid choice.
You dirty little creep.
Just worry, it won't treat a group of mystic squirrel knights forming a doomsday cult dedicated to ending the world with a giant acorn with the seriousness it deserves.